their jobs for use of illegal drugs.
This is PTV News. Good evening. I'm Catherine Vital with Richmond Cruz and Sharms Espina. In the news tonight, the AFP dismisses the Pigcawayan, North Cotabato incident involving members of the Bangsamoro Islamic Freedom Fighters as harassment from the lawless group and not a spillover of the Marawi City terrorist siege. At the same time, AFP spokesperson Restituto Padilla stressed that government forces are ready to face the various threats facing the country. Brigadier General Padilla spoke during today's Mindanao Hour in Malacanang. In the same press briefing, Padilla reported that the situation in strife-torn Marawi City continues to improve. More of this report from Rocky Ignacio.
The Armed Forces of the Philippines is confident to win the battle against the enemies of the state. In the Mindanao Hour briefing, AFP spokesperson Brigadier General Restituto Padilla assured that the government is ready to thwart any threat to peace and order despite continued military operations in Marawi City. Padilla said he is following unverified reports of terror attacks in various parts of the country, including Metro Manila.
Our forces are spread all over. We may be facing many fronts. Ibig sabihin, madami tayong kinakaharap na kalaban, pero maayos po nating na-i-assign ang lahat ng ating mga puwersa para harapin po itong mga iba't ibang banta. At hindi po magtatagumpay itong mga grupong ito dahil patuloy tayong naka-alerto at handang tugunan kung ano man yung gagawin nila.
Padilla reiterated that due to strict security measures, the government forces were able to prevent attacks made by the Bangsamoro Islamic Freedom Fighters in Pigcawayan, North Cotabato.
So, it's already resolved actually. They've withdrawn from the area. They're no longer there. The school area is again safe. The patrol base is well secured. And the troops that have responded quickly to this incident are now on the pursuit mode. So, we are just ascertaining if they have released around 5 civilians that they have held.
Despite reports of joint forces of Abu Sayyaf, Mauute, and BIFF, Padilla said the incident in Pigcawayan was not a spillover of the Marawi siege.
It's too small an effort. It was just a harassment case. They were just trying to harass a BPAT outpost. But in the process, they were surprised because we reacted quickly and the BPAT outpost was prepared for their coming. Kaya sila umatras kagad. Kaya nga, near resolution na to eh. So, by and large, these harassments have been ongoing even before this Marawi incident. Remember, there are certain attempts at throwing an explosive in front of a camp or a police station or what have you. Di ba nangyayari na yan dati pa? Hindi naman yan bago. They will keep on harassing because they want to project that they are still existing. So, it's not something of the breadth or the size of Marawi.
Meanwhile, military operations in Marawi City continues to gain positive results.
So, ang pinakamaliwanag po dito, these people are evil forces who are not up to something good because what they want is to destroy, to burn, to kill, and what have you. They don't care who you are for as long as you're not with them. They will kill, kill, kill. And many of them, to keep alert, are using drugs. Kasi sa tagal na ng panahon na nandyan sila, palagay nyo sa sobrang puyat na hindi niya ba kayo nagtataka bakit parang napaka-alerto pa nila, napaka-superman pa nila. They're using so many ways to keep themselves alert, and part of that is the use of illegal drugs.
Presidential spokesperson Ernesto Abella also warned public against scammers to any supposed donations for soldiers killed in actions and displaced residents in Marawi City.
Please be reminded that this is the only official depository account, and please do not give, especially financial donations, to any other supposed solicitations. Please take note that the only depository bank is Land Bank of the Philippines.
For the Nation, Rocky Ignacio.
The jolting bomb blasts and artillery strikes from above, staccato gunfire from high-caliber assault rifles, and scattered plumes of smoke all about are very much the same visible and audible fare in Marawi City as the siege enters its second month. Behind the scenes and unseen, scores of helpless and hungry city's residents are still holed up in homes, wishing to escape at the slightest chance, security growing even tighter around the city perimeter, and hundreds of homes being locked tight and shut by roving soldiers to thwart looting. In this report filed by PTV's correspondent on assignment, Julius de Samburon.
Military surgical airstrikes still pursued earlier today. Continuous firefight and bomb dropping were witnessed in the 4 barangays occupied by the terrorists. According to the Joint Task Force Marawi, EOD personnel and specialists have joined and led the clearing operations in the ground zero.
I-check yung bahay, titignan yung mga rooms, yung floors, and other space ng bahay na pwedeng may mga binabanggit ko kanina, may mga bomba, mga war materials.
JTF Marawi added that the number of Mauute forces is now dwindling. With the help of municipal mayors, situations in each town of the province are being closely monitored. Heightened security checkpoints are visible in strategic points coming in and going out of Marawi City. Operation Padlock was also launched to protect houses left behind by the evacuated residents, where more than 300 homes were padlocked to prevent looting.
Ang Human Rights Desk po ay available po sila dito kasi ito pong Provincial Crisis Management Committee, dito po yung Operation Center, lahat po ng aspeto na pwede nating tulungan ang ating mga residente na nasa lanta ay nandito lahat, legal, mga provision na kailangan nila, andito po lahat. So ang gusto lang ho natin may parating sa ating mga kababayan ay coordinate na po sila sa atin dito.
Soldiers are being trained to be capable of pointing out the difference between an ordinary civilian and an enemy just by observing his or her behavior. Stray bullets from the front lines are also being monitored around the city as soldiers aim for the liberation of Marawi.
Ayaw po namin maglagay ng sinasabing deadline. Ginagawa po namin ng maayos, swift, deliberate po yung operations namin para ingatan din po namin yung mga sundalo namin from the IED at sa mga bomba po na nilalagay nila sa mga bahay at building.
2 engineering battalions of the armed forces are currently preparing for the rehabilitation of Marawi City, which will be immediately done once the siege has been totally foiled. Aside from this, the Department of Public Works and Highways also expressed its commitment on the reconstruction of damaged public infrastructure. Meanwhile, after President Rodrigo Roa Duterte apologized,
very sorry na nangyari ito sa atin. Sana kung madaling panahon, you will find in your heart to forgive my soldiers, ang gobyerno, pati ako for declaring martial law. Wala akong choice Sinisira na ang Marawi. I have to drive them out. But I am very sorry. Pakiabot na lang doon sa mga kapatid nating mga Maranao na ang aking paghinakit rin sa nangyari na ito. Patawarin ninyo po kami.
the people of Maranao accepted the chief executive's apology. In a statement issued by the Crisis Committee, our Muslim brothers and sisters expressed how they understand the president's stern action against the ISIS-linked local militant group, which has already severely affected the lives of civilians and damaged their properties. They also prayed for guidance as the chief executive committed to prioritize the delivery of services, reconstruction and rehabilitation, as well as assistance for a better Marawi City and Lanao del Sur. For the Nation, Julius de Samburon, Marawi City.
President Rodrigo Duterte said he would discuss with Indonesian President Joko Widodo regarding the alleged presence of Indonesian Islamic State fighters in the ongoing armed conflict in Marawi City, Lanao del Sur. This was confirmed by presidential spokesperson Ernesto Abella, who did not disclose the details but hinted on security matters as the crux of the conversation. While Armed Forces of the Philippines spokesperson Brigadier General Restituto Padilla admitted not being privy to the discussion between the two heads of state, Padilla assured that President Duterte knows what to say to his counterpart. Indonesian Defense Minister Ria Mizard Riyakudu himself admitted earlier receiving reports of 1,200 ISIS operatives in the Philippines, 40 of whom are from Indonesia.
President Rodrigo Duterte has decided to give up the travel privilege of using the presidential plane in lieu of wounded soldiers being airlifted to Manila for medical attention. At least 9 military personnel injured in the Marawi battlefield were flown into the metro Tuesday night aboard the presidential Fokker F-28, which is now operating as an air ambulance. Malacanang disclosed the president's decision was made after trying to boost the morale of the troops confined at a military hospital in Cagayan de Oro City. He boarded an ambulance with the soldiers on the way to the airport and later posed for photographs inside the aircraft. They were among the 90 combatants injured in the conflict-ridden Marawi City in the recent days.
The Bureau of Immigration is further tightening its screening of foreign nationals entering the country. This follows reports that foreign terrorists have linked up with ISIS-inspired Mauute group that is currently battling government troops in Marawi City. Immigration spokesperson Tonet Mangromang said they are now strengthening their intelligence units to block the entry of foreign terrorists.
Bureau of Immigration has particularly identified the Border Control Intelligence Unit to perform the function of identifying or monitoring the arrival of foreign persons of interest, particularly on the issue of terrorism.
Quite a few discoveries have come to light on the tragic Resorts World bungled robbery that led to the untimely deaths of 37 hotel casino guests and employees and dozens more injured. PTV's Joy Gumatay recounts the proceedings in the third committee hearing conducted by the House of Representatives that saw the chairman of the business group owner of the hotel casino confirm his organization's financial and intangible support to the victims, among others.
The joint panels of Tourism, Public Order and Safety, and Games and Amusements conducted the third leg of the investigation of the bloody incident in Resorts World, Manila. One of the casino's security manager, Bernard Cahigas, attended and was asked if they have sufficient training in responding to such situations.
Ang puntos ko dito, kung pakiramdam mo nagkaroon ba kayo ng sapat na training para kung merong akto na sitwasyon gaya ng nangyari, you can easily identify that police forces are there. Like for example, easy identification of uniform, easy identification ng movement nila, familiarity with how they move. Kasi lahat yun nakukuha sa training. Sa tingin mo, naging sapat ba training ninyo para malaman yun?
Sa tingin ko, Your Honor, kailangan dagdagan ko po yung training natin.
So kulang yung training nyo?
Maaari po kulang yun. Kailangan po namin strengthen yung aming trainings.
Police officials confirmed the misencounter between them and the security of Resorts World.
As we entered the basement parking, sir, we were not aware na meron din palang RPSB na nanggaling naman sa frontal side. Yun kaya dumaan sila sa casino, sir. We were approaching from the back end. The other team was approaching from the front end, sir. Kaya nagkaroon ng misencounter somewhere around 1:27 a.m.
The Solons also found out that the Bureau of Fire Protection does not have enough facilities to respond to a big fire incident because smoke has been so thick and active gunmen are still in the area. The BFP also wasn't able to inspect the building before it opened in 2009 as it has no jurisdiction and permit in the area. A lawmaker also asked officials of the possibility of looting as one of the victims lost valuable possessions when she was recovered. Because of the incident, Resorts World stopped engaging the services of NC Lanting Security Agency because of lapses in their part. There were information saying that banned personalities are being allowed to enter the casino if they can pay. For the lawmakers, this is a clear breach of security. Lawmakers also asked about the unclear protocols of the police in responding to crisis. David Chua Mingyat, for his part, condoled with the families.
On behalf of the Travelers International Hotel Group Incorporated, its board of directors, management and staff, to express our deepest sympathies to the families of all who perished and were injured. This unfortunate event has affected so many people and will permanently change the life of 37 families.
As of now, 31 out of the 37 families have received 1 million peso financial help. All injured people have received $500,000 pesos. For The Nation, Jervis Manahan.
President Rodrigo Duterte is expected to approve 9 infrastructure projects, including the 230 billion peso Mega Manila Subway project, when he convenes the National Economic and Development Authority Board next week. NEDA Director General Ernesto Pernia identified the 9 projects costing 738 billion pesos during a meeting of the Management Association of the Philippines. Pernia said these projects include the 151 billion peso Philippine National Railways long-haul Calamba to Bicol, the 150 billion peso Malolos Clark Airport Clark Green City Rail, 134 billion peso PNR South commuter line to Tuban to Los Baños, and the 35.3 billion peso Mindanao Railway project Tagum Davao Digos. Pernia said the administration intends to focus on projects that can be completed within the next 3 years. He said 7 projects are being applied for financing under official development assistance from China and Japan. Individuals are now banned from using firecrackers. This is contained in an executive order issued by President Rodrigo Duterte regulating the use of firecrackers and other pyrotechnic devices. EO 28 provides that the firecracker use will now be confined to community fireworks display. The move is designed to minimize the risk of injuries. The EO is effective immediately.
There will be no individual use of firecrackers and other pyrotechnic devices. This will be observed based on the Executive Order Number 28 signed by President Rodrigo Duterte. The said EO will provide for the regulation and control of the use of firecrackers and pyrotechnics. The use of firecrackers will be confined to community fireworks display to prevent risk of injuries and casualties. There are conditions under the Executive Order that should be complied. First, the fireworks display should be made on the occasion or as part of the competition or celebration, just like the traditional celebration to welcome the new year. The display should also be conducted under the supervision of a trained person duly licensed by the PNP and allowed by the municipality and city through a permit. Based on the Republic Act 7183, the Director General of the PNP is tasked to determine the prohibited firecrackers and pyrotechnic devices within 30 days from the effectivity of the executive order. The PNP, in coordination with DILG, DNR, DOH, and the Bureau of Fire Protection, will conduct a consultation for the implementing rules and regulations, while the Department of Health, DepEd, DNR, PNP, and the Bureau of Fire Protection will spearhead the information campaigns on the danger of using fireworks. For the Nation, Rock Ignacio.
For our business news, the Bank of the Philippine Islands blames its recent system glitch to a programmer rushing to process transactions. BPI Executive Vice President for Enterprise Services, Ramon Hocson, disclosed this at today's Senate hearing on the glitch that inconvenienced over 1 million clients of the bank. Officials of Banco de Oro also attended the hearing, as we hear from Sweden Velado.
In the Senate Committee on Banks, Financial Institutions and Currencies, led by Senator Cheese Escudero, 2 of the country's biggest banks denied hacking was the reason for data glitch and ATM skimming experienced by millions of their clients recently. The Bank of the Philippine Islands says it was a human error caused by one of their programmers.
So ang nangyari po, Your Honor, was then at around 10 p.m., hinugot niya itong file na to. On April 27 to May 2 na file instead of the June 6 file.
The BPI also denied online posts by some netizens who claimed losing and receiving millions of pesos in their accounts. The bank stressed their machines do not have the capacity to deposit and withdraw such huge amount in just one day, adding that each client is limited only to withdrawing a certain amount per day. According to the Central Bank of the Philippines, the treatment made by BPI to resolve the issue is fairly acceptable, as they immediately extended their banking hours until 7:30 in the evening and strengthened customer support. Meanwhile, the Banco de Oro admitted 7 of their ATMs were compromised due to card skimming attack last week.
Skimming is the unauthorized copying of the magnetic stripe information of ATM cards. The thin black stripe at the back of your cards, which stores the details of your card and is necessary for ATM transactions.
The Banco Central advised the BDO and other banks to switch to a more secured EMV system.
If you have EMV card, that somehow it protects the consumers because of the liability shift framework that we put in place.
There are no penalties yet for the two banks pending the official report of investigation of our central bank.
Based on existing law and jurisprudence, magkaka-liability lamang ang isang tao o ang isang bangko o korporasyon kapag intentionally may ginawa silang mali o may nagawang mali dahil sa kapabayaan o negligence. Kung talagang pagkakamali lamang o honest mistake, ika nga, maski naman sa ordinaryong buhay natin, walang liability ang nagkamali lang talaga.
According to Senator Escudero, skimming is a bailable offense, but his committee is now looking at increasing its penalty. For the Nation, Sweden Velado.
To help fill in the lack of jobs, the government worked so hard to address a week-long fair offering insights, incentives, and ideas on livelihood opportunities and small business ventures to dive into has all been set up at a mall in a suburb of the megacity. PTV's Alan Francisco narrates the details of this mini business exposition sponsored by the Department of Trade and Industry and the fair's first day events and calendar of activities in this report.
Recognizing the importance of small and medium enterprises or the small businessmen. This is the objective of the Department of Trade and Industry or DTI in launching the Negosyo Fair 2017 in a mall in Mandaluyong City which theme is Build, Link, and Transform.
Pangako po ito ng ating Pangulo dahil ang Pangulo natin, every time naririnig po natin siya na gusto niyang tulungan. So bibigyan sila ng mga option, opportunity para makahanap ng trabaho or kaya i-offer din pagtuturo ng pagnenegosyo kasi this is another option na para kumita.
Alam mo, itong negosyo fair natin ay hindi lamang para sa ating mga business counselors na tumatao sa lahat ng ating mga negosyo centers nationwide upang palaguin ang negosyo para matulungan ang ating mga negosyante kung paano nila laki o papalago ang kanilang negosyo. Ito rin ay para sa ating mga micro SMEs, itong mga entrepreneurs natin. Dahil meron tayong mga training na gagawin in the next 3 days from June 22 to 24.
The Negosyo Fair will end on June 24 and this is also for free. Meanwhile, other programs of the DTI which can help the public is the Negosyo Center and they are planning to establish this in every municipality or city nationwide. Secretary Lopez also says the government has its credit program which called P3 or Pondo sa Pagbabago at Pag-asenso.
Aside from training, kasama actually sa pinoprovide sa Negosyo Center, i-refer kayo dun sa partner microfinance institutions para dun naman yung funding, yung binigay rin ng ating presidente na pondo para sa pagbabago at pag-asenso. P3. So dito naman, magbibigay, para siyang kapalit ng 5-6. No, na para hindi na kayo pumunta sa mga nagpapautang na mataas ang interest, ay ito po ang alternatibo natin na regular lang yung interest.
DTI offices nationwide believe that because of the Negosyo Fair, they can easily bring the programs of the government to their constituents.
Ang mga negosyo center business counselors namin ay umattend dito para nang sa ganun makapacitate sila, maturuan sila ng mga kaalaman tungkol sa paano magserbisyo, kung ano mga serbisyo.
Meanwhile, the DTI has also its plan on how they can help the people affected by the crisis in Marawi City. For the Nation, Alan Francisco.
Philippine share prices slipped today. The Philippine Stock Exchange Index lost 31.49 points or 0.40% to 7,886.37. The broader all shares dropped 10.45 points or 0.22% to 4,708.79. More than 1.074 billion shares valued at 8.137 billion pesos changed hands. Losers led advancers 107 to 94 and 41 issues were unchanged.
Watching PTV Info Weather. Overcast clouds in the whole archipelago tonight is due to the thunderstorm clouds created by the extra hot weather earlier today through the water cycle, while the cluster of clouds down south is the ITCZ, which is forecasted to rain up the whole of Mindanao until the long weekend. Now, light rain showers tonight is concentrated over portions of southern Luzon as well as Palawan and portions of northern Mindanao and southern sections of Visayas. Now, alert to those residents living in low-lying areas, flood-prone areas, as well as those living nearby waterways or river channels. Now, based on our forecast map for Luzon tomorrow, we are looking at partly cloudy skies over Region 2 and Cordillera region, while rain showers is up for Ilocos Norte, and a good weather condition meanwhile over at Aurora provinces and La Union as well as in Pangasinan. As for the rest of the zone, partly cloudy to cloudy skies with isolated rain showers or thunderstorms will prevail, including Metro Manila or National Capital Region tomorrow and the rest of Bicol provinces. Now, heading down south in the Visayas, higher chances of thunderstorms over sections of Palawan, Coron, as well as here in Mindoro. And we're also looking at rain showers over Negros and Bohol, as well as Cebu, and thunderstorms over portions of southern Leyte, while good weather is up for Panay Island and portions of Samar. As for Mindanao, tomorrow, expect cloudy skies with light to moderate rains, and isolated thunderstorms will be experienced over Davao del Sur, as well as Soc-Sargen and most parts of ARMM and Zamboanga Peninsula. Meanwhile, let's take a quick look over Asia City's forecast or Metro City's forecast for the rest of the work week over at Metro Manila. We are looking at thunderstorms again tomorrow evening with possible highs of 34 degrees Celsius, while Metro Cebu is up at 32 degrees and Davao at 32 degrees as well, with possible thunderstorms in the afternoon or evening due to the IPCZ. And that's the latest for now, only here on PTV Info Weather. For the Nation, Ice Martinez.
We'll take a short break. Stay tuned.
Do not be fooled by fake numbers. Know the real numbers. From July 1, 2016 to June 13, 2017, a total of 396 youth were rescued by the government in line with the anti-drug operations in the country.
The fish are eating. So should you, anak.
Thank you.
You're welcome, anak.
What does anak mean?
It means my child.
Last na to
Promise, magbabayad na ako. Pag sinugot ako nililigawan ko.
Hoy! Lamuho! Layon mo yung pamakin ko!
Morning, Aling Nena.
Che!
Bye, Shirley.
Kamusta ang tito? Ano eh? Ang daming babayaran sa ospital. Kaya kailangan na talaga nating maningin. Eto pa lang si Joey may pinakamalaking utang dito eh. Di ba sinabi ko sa'yo, huwag mo na kasing pautangin? Tita, marami na rin nagbayad. Pero kulang pa rin. O si Joey. Saan natin kukunin yung kulang? Malaki pa yun eh. Ano namang ihabla ko pa siya eh. Mas malaki pa yung gastos natin tsaka yung abala.
Gagawan ko na paraan, tita.
I love. Palud naman.
Sagad na yung listahan mo, Joey. Tingnan mo.
Grabe naman ito. Wala man akong hello.
Mr. Jose Winston Gomez? Opo.
Bawat bayan ay may small claims court. Walang maliit na atraso para sa hustisya.
Walang hassle, walang abogado at aksyon agad. Para sa karagdagang impormasyon, pumunta lang sa aming website.
The AFP said the BIFF bandits were able to return to the Malagakit Elementary School. 31 of their hostages have regained their freedom. For the latest update on the Pigcawayan incident, here is Marita Mauute live. Marita?
Kathy, police and the military have rescued trapped residents who were earlier held hostage in Barangay Malagakit, North Cotabato, which was attacked by the Bangsamoro Islamic Freedom Fighters, or the BIFF, around 5 this morning. They are now here at the Pigcawayan National High School, which serves as the evacuation center. According to Mr. Isidro Quitor, school principal, there are now a total of 303 evacuees. 272 are staying here at the National High School, while 31 are at the DGEM Mindanao College. Meanwhile, 31 hostages have been rescued by the military and they are now undergoing stress debriefing. Fleeing residents reported that they saw one dead civilian on the street and one dead Kafgu whose body cannot be recovered because it has a bomb allegedly wrapped on its body. In an interview, Pigcawayan mayor said that the conflict is now contained, although the military are still on the ground. The motive for the attack is yet to be determined, though. That's the latest update from Pigcawayan, North Cotabato. For the Nation, Marita Mauute.
Thank you, Marita. Meanwhile, for illegal drug use, 160 policemen will lose their jobs. They are among 213 cops who were investigated for such offense. Eunice Monte reports.
The PNP Chief Police Director General Ronald Bato de la Rosa already received the recommendation of the PNP Internal Affairs Service in the cases of cops involved in illegal drugs. These include the cases of Police Superintendent Lito Cabamongan, or considered the highest-ranking official involved in illegal drugs, and Police Superintendent Cristina Nobleza, or the policewoman in relationship with Abu Sayyaf member Renner Lu Dongon.
It is very much concerned with the propriety of what Nobleza have done in that area in where he was found at the time. So, more or less, the gravity of the offense also is with the corresponding grave penalty.
Attorney Constantinopla also confirmed the dismissal of 160 police officers out of 213 cases investigated filed under the use of illegal drugs.
Currently, what is pending here in IAS is for submarine 19, referred to IAS 21. We have pre-charge investigation, which is 9, and the current one, the most recent one that we were able to receive only a week ago was 6 cases of PNP personnel found to be positive, still under motu proprio investigation.
Most of these policemen came from the National Capital Region, with ranks ranging from PO1 up to Police Superintendent. Meanwhile, the PNP is also now investigating the possible drug connections of the arrested Mauute family members in separate checkpoints.
Part po ng iniimbestigahan yan because of the huge amount of drugs seized kung saan sila they have in control previously, no? So kasama ho yan sa tinitingnan the connection of drugs and the proceeds of these drugs to the group as a terror group.
For the Nation, Eunice Monte.
A more comprehensive and wholesome strategy in the campaign against illegal drugs, with the emphasis on reformation and reassimilation, will hopefully be formulated by the end of today's brainstorming on the issue by the top and preeminent cabinet and agency chiefs. The afternoon public forum, dubbed Rehabilitacion, seeks to achieve a kinder, more humanistic and scientific approach, which will entail a proactive participation of law enforcement and anti-narcotics agencies in this report from Trixie Jafar.
The Duterte administration launched the Philippine government's unified campaign against illegal drug known as Rehabilitacion. This is headed by the Interagency Committee on Anti-Illegal Drugs from various government departments and agencies. Rehabilitacion aims to take a holistic approach in eliminating the country's drug problem and at the same time providing a premium on the rehabilitation of drug surrenderies.
Historically, it is only now that the drug problem is being seriously addressed and become the #1 priority program of the government. It is only now that all government agencies are uniting its efforts and each contribute in addressing the drug problem. And it is only now that we are starting to rehabilitate the nation. Through the ICAD, the Filipino people is assured that all areas affected by the drug problem will be addressed. The ICAD aims to unify, synchronize, and integrate all anti-drug efforts of the government.
Moreover, the said campaign caters 3 components, which are real numbers, real solutions, and real stories anchored on 5 pillars of action, namely drug demand and supply reduction, civic awareness, treatment and rehabilitation, and alternative development. Some members of the ICAD presented their contributions and efforts in support of the Rehabilitacion campaign.
So we have a total of 2,508 admitted and completed the treatment or nag-graduate na po 1,263 and discharge or binalik na sa kanilang mga community is 778. So yan po yung ating treatment and rehab facilities of the Department of Health.
Furthermore, Rehabilitacion aims to realize the vision of President Rodrigo Duterte that the elimination of illegal drug will protect and ensure a better future for Filipino families, especially the youth.
Care for the country, care for the community, care for the people. And we need to move as a people to have a drug-free Philippines. And this is what Rehabilitacion is all about. I will end this address by honoring the people who have lost their lives in senseless acts of crime driven by the use of illegal drugs.
It can be recalled that Interagency Committee on Anti-Illegal Drugs was formed on March 6, 2017 by virtue of Executive Order Number 15. For the Nation, Trixie Joafar.
The 6th United Nations World Tourism Organization, or UNWTO, International Conference on Tourism Statistics is underway in Manila. The 3-day conference serves as a venue to discuss policy initiatives on the importance of developing a statistical framework to measure sustainable tourism worldwide. More details from Dayan Querer.
The World Tourism Organization says that the Philippines continues to be a prime tourism destination not only in Asia but also worldwide. According to UNWTO, the country has developed a lot in its tourism sector.
When I was driven through the skyway from the airport, I see the happiness as a professional. When I see the airport terminal being renovated with more spacious for travelers, this is the happiness that I enjoy together with you.
The Department of Tourism extends its gratitude to UNWTO for its support to the first ever Philippine hosting of the International Conference on Tourism Statistics, wherein tourism ministers and statisticians from different parts of the world are here in the country to discuss sustainable tourism and also explore the different tourist destinations in the Philippines as a side event. DOT spokesperson Frederick Alegre says that Philippines is indeed a top choice destination in the world among tourists.
We know we're a top destination. We just have to get together and help each other make that possible.
Around 1,000 delegates from more than 60 countries all over the world are now here in the Philippines for this international conference. According to UNWTO, this sends a message that the Philippines is a safe and beautiful place to visit for travelers. UNWTO stresses that the tourism sector helps in the world economy, as it contributes 10% in the world GDP, and that 1 out of 10 jobs is from the tourism industry. Tourism Secretary Wanda Tulfo-Teo meanwhile says that in promoting sustainable tourism, it is important that benefits are felt in the local communities.
But I believe I will be successful
if I will be able to create jobs for local people, and I see them live a better life because of tourism.
On the other hand, UNWTO admits that issues in security like terrorism affects the tourism sector, but the effects are negligible and temporary.
Our sector has a capacity to recover very quickly, and countries affected should receive international support.
Delegates to the 6th International Conference on Tourism Statistics will be staying in the country until the 24th of June. For The Nation, Diane Carrer.
Overseas, the U.S. Congress will continue its look into Russian meddling in last year's presidential election campaign with 2 hearings Wednesday, one in the Senate and one in the House of Representatives. Lawmakers remain divided over the question of whether President Donald Trump may have taken steps to obstruct justice in the Russia probe, an issue that reportedly has become a focus of the special counsel investigation led by former FBI Director Robert Mueller. VOA's Jim Malone has this report.
This next round of congressional hearings will focus on the full scope of Russia's efforts to interfere with last year's U.S. presidential election. But one key issue that remains unresolved is whether President Trump himself is under investigation for possible obstruction of justice in connection with the Russia probe. A presidential tweet late last week seemed to confirm news reports that Trump is now a subject of the investigation, with the president adding that he's a victim of a witch hunt. One of the president's lawyers, Jay Sekulow, denied that and said the White House has not received any official confirmation that Trump is under investigation. Earlier this month, former FBI Director James Comey told the Senate Intelligence Committee that the president said, "I hope you can let this go," referring to the FBI's probe of Trump's fired former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn. Comey said it felt like a presidential directive.
I don't think it's for me to say whether the conversation I had with the president was an effort to obstruct. I took it as a very disturbing thing, very concerning.
Trump has denied Comey's account of their conversation about Flynn.
I didn't say that. I mean, I will tell you, I didn't say that.
And did he ask you to pledge his
And there'd be
loyalty?
nothing wrong if I did say it, according to everybody that I've read today, but I did not say that.
Legal analysts are divided over whether there is sufficient evidence so far to suggest obstruction of justice, says Paul Schiff Berman.
My guess is that by and large, people in Congress and others will believe Comey's testimony. The question will be whether they think Comey's testimony proves or suggests obstruction of justice.
Some Republicans have come to the president's defense, including Senate Intelligence Committee Chairman Richard Burr, who had this exchange with Comey.
Did the president at any time ask you to stop the FBI investigation into Russian involvement in the 2016 U.S. elections?
Not to my understanding, no.
Special counsel Robert Mueller has not spoken publicly about the investigation or whether Trump is a focus.
For our sports tonight, another competitive and experienced player has been added to the Gilas training pool of head coach Chot Reyes with the entry of former NBA D-League guard Bobby Ray Parks Jr. Aden Malyare has more of the story.
Bobby Ray Parks Jr. surprised everyone when he arrived at the Meralco Gym in Pasig City for the first resumption of the Gilas pool practice last night. Parks is the latest addition to the training pool of head coach Chot Reyes, sweating it out with the fellow members Raymar Jose, Baser Amer, Almond Vosotros, Mike Tolomia, Ed Dakiwag, Alfonso Gotladera, Raymond Almazan, Von Pesumal, Carl Brian Cruz, Kevin Alas, as well as the 17-year-old Phil Nigerian cager AJ Edu. In an interview with PTV Sports, Parks admitted how he missed practicing with the national team and vowed to give his all just to be part of Gilas once again, who last played for the country in July 2016 at the FIBA Olympic qualifying tournament.
But whatever Coach Chot and the whole SVP group decides for me and want me to help them with to play, then I'm really willing to, whether it's cadets or men's, wherever. It could be 3-on-3 for all I care.
Parks could no longer be a part of the country's roster for the William Jones Cup-bound team since the lineup has already been submitted by the SBB to the Taiwan organizers. The only hope for Parks in joining the national team are the spots for FIBA Asia Cup in Beirut, Lebanon, and the 29th Southeast Asian Games in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. He may be backed with experience from the NBA D-League, but the 24-year-old guard does not want to consider himself a shoe-in by Coach Chot's standard.
Nothing's given for sure, so I got to battle my way through. So whatever standards he put, I need to meet. So he's definitely here, I'm here, so I got to reach for him. And I'm willing to do that. I'm willing to work hard and, like I said, to just put on that jersey. So we're all here. All this great talent right now is working towards making that lineup.
Tomorrow will be the second day of practice for the Gilas pool, while the daily sessions will be starting next week, where the coaching staff is expected to be joined by Phil German Prison Stan Hardinger, Kobe Paras, and Kiver Ravenna. For The Nation, Aryan Malyari.
The camp of Manny Pacquiao should never underestimate the capabilities of Australian challenger Jeff Horn. This was reiterated by Horn's trainer Glenn Rushton, who said the undefeated Australian has what it takes to come back from even the most severe punch. With this, Rushton expects Pacquiao to get the surprise of his life once he starts trading leathers with Horn. Meantime, Pacquiao and his entourage are all set to travel from General Santos City to Australia via an AirAsia chartered plane this Saturday. Pacquiao will stake his WBO World Welterweight crown against Horn in a 12-round title bout on July 2 at the Suncorp Stadium in Brisbane, Australia. J.J. Helterbrand and Mark Kagiwa, who were dubbed as the Fast and the Furious, are one of those considered as the best backcourt duos in the PBA. The moniker Fast for Helterbrand and Furious for Kagiwa were given during the 2004 to 2005 season of the PBA due to the great performances exhibited by their tandem, which resulted to their team's back-to-back championships. In the very same season, the highest field goal percentage of Helterbrand at 44.1% and Kagiwa at 49.1% were recorded. Aside from this, the pair also made it to the 40 greatest players in PBA history. In the headlines, the AFP dismisses insinuations that the incident in Pigcawayan, North Cotabato involving BIFF bandits is a spillover of the Marawi City terrorist siege. President Rodrigo Duterte and the NEDA board are set to approve infrastructure projects worth 738 billion pesos. President Duterte signs an executive order regulating the use of firecrackers and other pyrotechnic devices. 160 policemen are set to lose their jobs for use of illegal drugs.
And those were today's headline stories on PTV News. I'm Catherine Vital with Richmond Cruz and Charms Espina. Thank you and good evening.